Boom. Come on, Naeem. Who do you think I'm fucking dealing with? Joy Bananas. Naeem, that's exactly who you think you're dealing with. Joey Bananas. Hold on. Mr. Producer, we got all them hoes. Naeem. Cochente. Whew. Fucking firing hot. Woo! Burnt the tongue a bit. Woo! You like that, Naeem? Fresh off the fucking press. That's where I was at. I put the live stream on. So you know what? I need another double just to put some fucking fire in my mind. Put some fucking fire in my veins. Cochente, right? You gotta have your espresso fucking piping hot. If your espresso does not burn your tongue and burn the roof of your tongue, it's not hot enough. You know what my grandfather used to do? He would want his espresso so fucking hot that he would have my grandmother boil water, boiling hot. Boil water, pour it into the espresso cup so that that water would keep the cup hot as fuck until she was ready to brew the espresso. And as soon as she would click the button to brew, dump out the boiling water, catch the espresso. That talk about fucking flaming hot. That's a hero. That's a real man. But all you men nowadays, I want a iced latte. I want a caramel frappuccino with extra pumps of caramel and extra pumps of gay. Like, come on, bruv. What the fuck are you doing? What kind of man are you drinking iced latte? What the fuck? Iced latte is on a special occasion. Maybe you know, spice it up a little bit. A little fucking, special occasion. No, bro. What the fuck are you doing? Quad shot in the morning. No sugar. Straight to the dome. Doesn't break the fast. Right before the last stream to get another double. Put me 6 shots deep. Still haven't broken the fast. Still only drinking water. And you wonder why I have 6-pack fucking abs. I have 6-pack abs because I'm disciplined. Because I don't drink fucking caramel frappuccino. The fuck, dude? Stop going to Starbucks and get a Breville espresso machine. Put it in your kitchen. And you fucking have your honey brew that bitch up every single morning. Oh, my girl won't make me espresso in the morning. Get rid of her. Make it yourself until you find a girl that will make it for you. And make yourself the man that she'd be willing to make the espresso for. All right. Anyways, let's get into the fucking charts. All right. I know you guys are not sick of the yapping. All right. So you're exactly right, Paxter. Last night I was saying squeeze coming, right? We've been coming to a crossroads where there's only so much more downside that we could possibly see since holding that ETH close to capitulation at 1450 down to like 1100, 1200. Excuse me, 1100, 1200. And whenever Bitcoin had lost the bull market logarithmic trend line. But then BTC reclaimed the bull market trend. False breakdown, bear trap as some would call it. And then we've just been gliding up on that bull market logarithmic trend line since we reclaimed it. And what do you see? I said last night, I said squeeze coming on Bitcoin. Boom, squeeze. Right? So at this point, unless we get some type of ridiculous news about tariffs and fucking somebody's bombing Iran and et cetera, unless we get something out of the fucking blue that's just going to be sell the news, we should be, don't jinx it, but we should be making a push up to 92,000. And then 92,000 will give us the final confirmation as to bull market on again or bull run on again, or we complacency shoulder, rolling over, G'd at 92K, get out of your positions. We're going into a bear market. So very, very, very important times that we're going into right now. And so important, I put it on my story. I said, listen, here's this live stream. I put it up on my Snapchat and I said, lock the fuck in. It's time to lock in, okay? There was a time to sit on your hands, which was the last couple of months. Don't overtrade, hedge, short, make money to the downside, reposition, reaccumulate at the lows, but just relax. We're not here to trade during a bear market. Okay, now it's time to lock the fuck back in. Now you're going to start seeing runners again. Now you're going to start seeing things like Fartcoin run to 4, 5, 6, $10 billion. You're going to see Pepe run to 50 bill if we really get this bitch cracking again. So time to lock in. Time to pay attention, okay? Because these are very important levels because this is going to determine whether we exit positions on the complacency shoulder? Or do we run this bitch back turbo and we're going up to fucking new all-time highs? Oh, my goodness. Espresso is fucking piping. All right, let's get into charts, gentlemen. So I'm going to do a little Mr. Producer. Oh, by the way, happy Easter. Happy Easter from yesterday. He is risen. God is great. Jesus died for our sins to give us the eternal life. So God bless. Happy Easter. And then let me screen capture. Hey, well, this is the ultimate market professionals, but I suppose we'll get political anyways. How about in 2024, the Biden administration fucking made Easter Day, 2024, Easter Day, made it Trans Awareness Day. Talk about a fucking disrespect and a fuck you in the face of Christians, right? Same thing with the Olympics, where they put the trans people at the Last Supper, right? This is an accident. These people are openly mocking Christianity and openly mocking our religion. I'm furious. That's not okay for me. But anyways, into the charts. Look at that fucking meat stick, Paxter. Who could have foreseen, huh? Who could have foreseen, right? Let me pull this bitch up. So let's just touch base one more time on what we're looking here, okay? So I've had this line drawn out for quite a while now, okay? We've been watching this. This is the start of the bull market trend, okay? This was the bear market reaccumulation, right? This was last cycle, double top, 1, 2. Okay, we go into our bear market, and then here's our bear market reaccumulation range, okay? Finally, we set our local low, and then bull market trend starts. So this is what this trend line has been signifying, okay? As long as we've been up above this trend line, look, we're in a bull market. And here, on August 5th, look at this. Perfect tag on September 6th before our next leg up higher, right? And then as we set our new all-time highs, we did some local distribution up top, right? And we created this downtrend, right? So we tagged once, tagged twice, and then here, this is where I flipped bearish locally because you have to. I mean, you have to respect these lines. We get this big nuke, and then we closed the daily candle outside of the bull market trend. Okay, so this is when I said, okay, well, this shit could start breaking down now because here's your breakdown, here's your retest, and if it was over, we would have done this. Rejected off of the overhead supply, rejected off of that trend line, and we would have broken down further. But we didn't. So it was a false breakdown. Right? So it's a false breakdown. We reclaimed it, and not only did we reclaim it, look at where we reclaimed it. Look at the confluence. Exactly where we reclaimed the log trend is also when we broke market structure back to the upside. So this was a pretty clear downtrend, right? 1, 2 tags, 3, 4 tags, 5 tags, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tags, 11. Boom. So this is the clear downtrend on Bitcoin. Look, same time we got back into the bull market trend, we also broke market structure back to the upside. So now this downtrend is now broken. So locally, right, if you're just looking from strictly from a TA perspective, on this time frame, this is now an uptrend, and we're now locally bullish again, okay? And look, we got this squeeze. So over the weekend, we're just literally just walking up this trend line. Look, just walking up it, walking up it, walking up it. Boom, we got the squeeze this morning, okay? So naturally, you're going to see some of this, retrace, and you probably tag it one more time at like 85, 86,000. But as you're going up this trend line, you're obviously going up in higher prices, right? So higher lows, right? Higher high, higher low. And then here is where the next major point is going to be for us. So whether or not we actually make a complacency shoulder here at 92,000 and reject from the underside of this range, or do we break through and go back to range highs? That's the question we got to ask ourselves now. And so that's what we're talking about and positioning for inside the Discord. So Bitcoin looks beautiful here. And here's why this is also very bullish, because crypto is showing strength here, and equities like Nvidia are down, right? Get this out of here. So if I show you S&P, look. So the S&P is coming back down to do what it does. Perfectly tag our demand zone here, right? So equities are down. Equities are pulling back after rejecting off of this overhead supply, coming back down into our demand. But Pepe's green, Sol's green, ETH is green, Bitcoin's green. Love that, okay? It's showing strength, meaning, and in the past we've seen this where equities have made lower lows, but Bitcoin has made higher highs. Yeah, exactly. Higher highs and higher lows. Showing that, okay, there's a rotation, there's a reversal that potentially is taking place where it should start to see the bottoming happening on equities, and we may move up. We will move up higher. Oh, shit, what the fuck? MRB Sunny, welcome to the stream. Thanks for subscribing. So, this is good. This is constructive, right? Also, with global M2, well, actually, let's do this. I want to look at fixed range volume profile. So from the last tag of this till now, I want to see what yeah, it makes sense. Here's the other big deal too, right? So the majority of the volume on Bitcoin since this last tag of the bull market trend, right? So this is a fixed volume range, okay, fixed volume profile. This shows us where the most volume has come in on Bitcoin, the most US dollars being spent or bought on Bitcoin. So all throughout this entire move, this pump up into this range, the most transacting has taken place right here in 96,000. Okay. So between these two areas, between 96 and like 92,000, right up in here, this is going to be very important for whether or not we actually break through and go back to new all-time highs or start rolling over. Okay. The reason being is because all this volume took place up here. One of two things are going to happen, right? Either people are going to love this and say, okay, beautiful, we're back up to 96,000. I'm going to start accumulating again. I'm turning bullish again. Or bag holders, people that were accumulating up in here who don't think this thing goes back to new all-time highs are going to start jeeting in this area, because this is where most people's entries are at. This is what their average price would be at, because this is what the most volume took place right here. So that's going to be a very important level for us to actually break through and confirm that we're going to go to new all-time highs, right? So let's look at, I should have some price labels on here. I don't. Okay, I'll put one on there. Like 96.3. Okay, so I would mark that out on your charts too. Is this level right here, 96,300? That's going to be a huge level, because you see this cluster of candles, these cluster of candles, right? All this volume was coming in here, so it's going to be a lot of supply for us to chew through to not only break back up into the range, but to chew through this volume, because all those people who had their entries there are going to be either looking to exit here at break even, or the people up here trying to exit here for a small loss, right? So that's going to be another level that we take a look at. Okay. All right, so that's Bitcoin right now, right? The other thing we've been looking at is DXY, because there's a game that's being played on the macro stage that inevitably is what affects equities and affects crypto, right? It all comes down to liquidity conditions. Individuals like me, you, successful as you want to think that you are, we can't actually move markets with the amount of capital that we have. The only people who can really move equity markets and send them to new all-time highs are the ones who have enough liquidity to do so, which would be global governments and central banks, right? So here's where we're at on SPX. Let's look at global liquidity. Okay. This is what's also making me macro cautiously bullish, right? And why this likely was the bottom right here. Bottom on equities. Bottom on Bitcoin. Why? Look at global liquidity. Okay, this is something you don't fade this. Okay, global liquidity is pumping to new all-time highs. Okay, you see how this is a leading indicator. We've talked about this in the past, right? So this is why I'm getting cautiously bullish again, is because we topped on global liquidity here, and then what do equities do, right? Equities then top over here, right? Same thing with Bitcoin. If we look at Bitcoin, okay, let's put it on the weekly. Tops here, right? Okay, so liquidity goes up, more money gets injected in the markets, more people start buying up risk assets, right? What happens to risk assets? They pump after because liquidity finds its way into risk assets. Same thing with equities. We top out here, all-time high. That's the all-time high, right? Right? Look, this was an all-time high in liquidity. We go to all-time highs on equities. Well, what are we doing again right now? So yeah, locally, we had a pullback in liquidity. And what do we get on equities? Pullback here. We have a pullback in liquidity. We have a pullback on Bitcoin. Okay, well, this is a pretty fucking big move back up to the upside. And we're at all-time highs again, right? This is way above previous all-time high. Okay? Well, if this is a leading indicator and global liquidity is shooting up, China's stimulating right now because they're going through an economic depression. The U.S. is going to start stimulating based off of the odds from the CME Fed Watch Group, which I'll pull up right now, right? Let's get this shit popping. Oh, no, I got you, gentlemen. Peep this. All right, here it is, right? The U.S. is about to start stimulating. So we got no rate cut probable for May 7th. But what's going to happen is after this May 7th meeting, we get a little bit more clarity. You're going to see markets start to price that rate cut in, the 63% that we get one on June 18th. Then there's a 57% chance that we get one on July 30th. 47% chance that we get one on 9/17, September 17th. So 1, 2, 3 meetings in a row with rate cuts is incredibly bullish. So the market, you're going to start to see this get priced in here, right? Because they're going to be forward thinking, forward seeing these markets. So if China's stimulating, other world banks are stimulating, the U.S. is going to likely start stimulating by lowering interest rates. And they cut QT in half. We talked about this, quantitative tightening. They cut that in half. So they're doing half the sell pressure into these markets every single month. And then hopefully if they end QT altogether, now we're fucking cruising. Okay, now we have no sell pressure from the U.S. government. We can allow these, you can allow that net positive flow of liquidity into these markets. So all-time highs on global M2. So these things are lining up for me saying, okay, I understand that people are afraid locally, but how much more downside could we really actually see, right? If anything, I mean, if there was anything else, it would be minimal at this point, right? Because we didn't see the major levels get broken that would have caused us to be incredibly bearish again, right? If Bitcoin lost this bull market trend and stayed below here and rejected here, that would have been something. Sound the alarms in the Discord, talking about it on stream, like, hey, shit's cooked, it's over, like we rejected off of the trend line, it's a bear market, we're coming down lower. But it was a false breakdown, we reclaimed. Okay, well then technically until we lose that level, we stay locally bullish. Same thing with ETH. Right here, this was a do or die moment. It was either this is a false breakdown and we get saved, which, what did they do? They saved it, right? Look at the volume that came in. Right? Huge volume to kind of swoop this back up and keep it from breaking down. That was a do or die level. If ETH breaks this, where does ETH come back down into? This demand zone right here. This one, and then you're probably even going lower than that. So this is where if we break down here, then yeah, we got to be even more bearish, short, continuing to short. We're in a bear market. Like ETH is just cooked. But Max Payne, they saved it. All right, well then locally we can stay positive until we break this downtrend, right? So Bitcoin just recently broke its downtrend. ETH breaks through this downtrend, you're going to see a big pop. You're going to see something like this. Boom. Right? You're going to see a big pop out of this downtrend, right? You break out of it, you'll retest it, and then pump up higher. Okay? So the point I was making is we're heading into favorable liquidity conditions, okay? So now is when you want to start, basically getting exposure to the markets if you haven't been exposed for the past couple of months on the downside. This is another thing that we were looking inside the Discord that tells me it doesn't make sense for us to be topped in crypto because this chart also has not broken out yet. Every single cycle, the past 3 cycles, we've had blow off tops on this Bitcoin Nvidia pair, right? So Bitcoin, if Bitcoin's outperforming Nvidia, this chart goes up. If Nvidia is outperforming Bitcoin, this chart goes down, right? So you see this get blow off tops every cycle, right? So November 2013, December 17, March 21, right? Blow off tops on Bitcoin in the last 3 cycles. Every single time this chart has had a blow off top when those cycles topped. So here you start to see, hold on a second, big meat sick here because Bitcoin is outperforming Nvidia right now, right? Bitcoin is green on the day. Squeeze, Nvidia is down fucking 5-6%. It's getting cooked. Interesting. So if this chart starts breaking higher, that is hugely bullish because that means we're going to go back risk on, right? We'll be back risk on, and crypto will start to catch the rotation down further the risk curve, and you get your alt season. You get your outperformance from crypto. You get those blow off tops, those crazy gains that you saw in February, March 21, in December 17, etc. You're going to see those types of gains. We haven't had anything like that this cycle yet. So I look at this and I say, all right, in terms of a risk appetite, in terms of the rotation from larger equities down into shitcos, down into Bitcoin and other altcoins, that rotation has not taken place yet this cycle. That keeps me optimistic that the cycle is not complete because the rotation hasn't taken place, right? But it looks like right now we're trying to break this downtrend. Look at this, right? So you could draw it. I mean, it's going to be steep, but I mean, you could draw it like, nah, it's not really a good drawing. You could try something like this. No, you don't really have a clear downtrend, but you can tell by just looking at this, the trend is reversing, right? So locally, you had this bottom, right? So this is, lower low, lower high, lower low. But now, look what we're trying to do. We're trying to set a higher high. And then if you get a higher low here, this chart's going to start doing this. So this looks like a bottom right here, the way that this is playing out. So if this, see how it's pumping right now? Because Bitcoin's outperforming NVIDIA. Can't see the chart. Can we get... Oh, bumbaclat! Good call, Ollie. Fucking hell. I'm over here giving juice and can't even see the fucking chart. Thank you, Ollie. Okay. Here, look. This is the fucking... You guys didn't see any of that shit. Hilarious. This is the Bitcoin NVIDIA pair chart, right? So every single time there's a blow off top on this Bitcoin NVIDIA pair, that means that crypto topped. So in 2013 cycle, boom, called the top. In January, December 17, called the top on Bitcoin. Right here in February, March of 2021, called the top on Bitcoin. And you saw the rotation into altcoins, right? So this happened every single cycle. Bitcoin starts outperforming NVIDIA. Why? Because there's a rotation from from large equity assets down into risk assets. Now Bitcoin pumps, ETH pumps, then you create this wealth effect on chain from all the bag holders that are native to crypto, and then those bag holders rotate into altcoins to capture more gains. That's where you see the alt season. So we haven't had that yet this year. That's what I was saying is boom, 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 3 tops. On this chart, we haven't had this cycle yet. Yep. And here is what I was saying is this chart now, because Bitcoin is outperforming NVIDIA. NVIDIA is down like 6% today. Bitcoin's up, right? Don't need song. Can we get a song to finish the stream today? Yeah, we'll get a song. Fucking Naeem. Fuck it, we're doing it live, Naeem. So you get this chart on Bitcoin NVIDIA. It looks like it's trying to top out. Hold on. I'll draw this out for you again, right? Or trying to bottom out. Look. So it's been down only since last cycle, Bitcoin NVIDIA. So NVIDIA has been outperforming Bitcoin. Lower low, lower high, lower low. Now we're trying to set the higher high and change this trend back to the upside. So now this is another chart that shows me, okay, interesting. It looks like everything's trying to put in a bottom right now. Crypto may have already put in its bottom, likely did. And now we're getting this reversal on this chart. For the first time, we're getting a break of market structure. Because every other time, look. High, low, lower high, lower 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 low. This is the first time. Look. The first time in 4 years. Years. Look at this. 4 years. For the first time in 4 years, this chart. What the fuck? Why is it doing that? This chart is trying to make a higher high. That's a big deal, right? That's a big deal. The first time in 4 years, we're going for a break of market structure in this chart. Look, we're pushing it right now. So to me, it's like, okay, we're close. We got to be close. If this cycle gets saved and we don't enter a fucking macro, we don't go into a macro recession, right? That would be the only thing that would stop us. This chart is putting in its bottom, right? It put in its bottom. This is the first time in fucking 4 years. It's trying to set a higher high. So if this candle can pop up over here and raid these highs, that's the break of the market structure. We're going to the upside now. That means crypto is about to start outperforming. That means risk assets are about to start outperforming. That's when you get your alt season. And the other thing that's giving me confidence with this, oh shit, gentlemen, look at this. Who could have fucking foreseen this, huh? Other than your boy, other than fucking Stunna. I drew this arrow right up here when this candle was here, this daily. And I said, we're going to get a pullback. Look where I drew it. We're going to get a pullback. We didn't come quite as deep as I thought we would, right? We got our pullback, but it came down here. And I said it's going to come back out, break the trend line. Look what we did. Come back out, break the trend line. Look what we're going to do. Look at this shit. Competent in all realms. Pop right up here, where I was expecting it to, And then we're going to get this retest of the downtrend, right? Retest it, and then we're going to go. This is it, gentlemen. Look. Look at this. Downtrend on others. This is altcoins, right? Downtrend has been respected this entire time. It's been suppressing us this entire time. Look, this entire time. This is the first time we're getting a break of structure here. So we're going to need it to be more of a breakout than this. So we'll likely get this retest, right? Turn this into from resistance to support. We turn this into support, this trend line. Bang, we start squeezing to the upside. Altcoins are going to start running. So similar to what happened here, right? Downtrend. This is from March of 24. We hit our top. Pepe does its 10x. Boys Club runs in March of last year. We respect this downtrend all the way through the August 5th nuke, through September, and then you break out. You retest the downtrend. One last shakeout. Bang. Bang. But you never hit the trend line again, right? Same fucking thing here. It's the same structure. It's also the same structure here. It's just these blow off tops, sharp corrections. Blow off tops, sharp corrections. Blow off top, sharp correction. Blow off top, sharp correction. We're trying to break out right now. Okay. Get ready, gentlemen. This may be it. This fucking may be it. Okay. What time is it? I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's look at some other shit here. But yeah, look at this. Red. Equities red. Or S&P red. US 100 red. Dow Jones red. IWM red. Came, look at this. Came right into our previous all-time high. Demand zone. Bounced. Boom. How cheap do you think Bitcoin will go after the bull market at bear market lows? It's a good question. It depends on how high we go in the bull market. So if we get the next leg up on Bitcoin, that's a good question, Ollie. Also, by the way, this move on Bitcoin was pretty obvious 2020 hindsight. Or this correction on Bitcoin, right? So look at this. So here's Bitcoin on the weekly. Okay, let's take out these trend lines. Hide. Okay, let's put on some Fibonacci's. Some Fiborovis. Okay, look at this. Let me hide this channel. Okay. So this is pretty obvious 2020 hindsight. So you get your 4-year reaccumulation range on Bitcoin, right? Which, by the way, Ethereum, BNB, Solana, etc., all those were still in their 4-year reaccumulation range, and none of them broke out, which is incredible. Shows, again, that likely did not top this cycle. Bitcoin creates this 0.51 range, and so this is where we were getting suppressed through that 8-month range over here. We kept getting suppressed off of this 1 from the top of the range right here. Okay, we finally broke out. Where do we break out and top at? Exactly. Look, the 1.618, 102,000. Okay, so that shows you the fibs work. Bull market fibs work. It shows you great places to take profit, start to de-risk, potential tops, etc. So it calls the top perfectly. This is why we have these fibs drawn out. So if BTC gets its next leg up higher, and we actually, like a true next leg up higher, not just like a double top and then roll over like we did over here, but a true fucking rip up higher, then the 1.618 played, so the 2.618 will play. So we're likely going to move up into here. Okay. So then bear market lows, Ollie, on Bitcoin, I would say it would probably come back into here. So potentially this area, or the next area would be like back down in this reaccumulation range, like right about here near this one, top of the range, right? So, because I mean, if you look at it like this, we can actually take a look. That would be a minus 55%. So yeah, it would in a bear market, if we get this next leg up higher to 155, 156,000, right? We top out at the 2.618, and then we will draw down 55%, likely back into like 65,000 territory, 70,000 territory, because similar to this drawdown, let's see what we're at. Top was here. So yeah, so you got a 76% correction in this bear market. So the reason I would think that there would be a, yeah, exactly. The reason I would think it's less downside here is because it's a larger asset, more adoption. You have nations adopting Bitcoin reserves, right? The demand for it overall is just going to be a lot higher. And as strategy or MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor's company continues to accumulate, other companies continue to accumulate, the supply is going to continue to go down. So it's going to become more scarce. So again, the pullbacks are going to be less. They're going to be smaller. So it's just the law of diminishing returns, right? Same thing where you get diminished returns to the upside, less volatility to the upside as the asset gets larger. You have less volatility, less drawdown to the downside, right? Equal and opposite reaction. So we get a 76% pullback into the bear market here, then I would expect here like 55, 56% pullback, right? Because down here would be about the same as this pullback. So at the very worst case scenario there, but I would not expect that at all. I would expect it up in here for sure. Maximum like 60% max, but more likely up in here. And the reason that makes sense too, that it wouldn't break this, is because this is an 8-month reaccumulation range right here. This is 8 months worth of price action. This is going to be defended very heavily, right? So if we do a volume profile on this, so from the breakout to like here, yeah, look at that. All the volume is right here. So that makes sense with this level pullback. Look, see? Who could have foreseen? Almost perfect, right? So it'll likely use this volume as a support level. So this will be support because there was all this buying and selling here, especially accumulating because the price went up higher right after this. So people were accumulating here at an average price of about 67,500. These entries are going to be defended. Absolutely 100%. So it's going to be tough to break down all this volume, break down past all this volume once it gets down here. So you're going to likely see, something, cascade, cascade down into here, bounce, kind of go sideways for a little bit right here. And then that would be the next bull market, right? So I would expect like 67, 68,000. Okay. Good question though, Ollie. But yeah, those fibs will play. So if we get the next leg up higher, I'm seeing Bitcoin hit the 2.618 because the fibs played before already. All right. Good, gentlemen. Let's fucking work. This is good. I'm cautiously bullish. I'm optimistic. We just got to make sure that this trade war doesn't go fucking doesn't continue to get look at this. Yep. We just gotta hope this trade war doesn't. How did you draw that volume chart? So it's an indicator. It's fixed range volume profile. So add that indicator to your trading view, fixed range volume profile, and then you just set the data point to what date range you want to see that. Oh, you're fucking hilarious. So I'll show you real quick, Bobby. So fixed range volume profile. So if I want to do from, the point of origin of this breakout move, which would be right here. So I would click to set a point, and then I can set the date range. And then the date range will show me where all the volume was taking place. So if I want to say all the way until now, shows you that most of the volume took place at $96,200, right? And if you change the data set, obviously, it'll change the profile. So if you want to do it from like here, Then you see all the volumes down here, 83,000, right? So just over a course of a date range. So the reason I drew the profile around this 8-month reaccumulation range is because this is where all the transacting occurred. So if I draw from like the point of the origin of the move, like the low here, all the way across to the range breakout, all the volume is at 67,200, right? That's where the most volume took place. And that's also why you see here, it got flipped. It went from resistance back into support, tested, came back, retested, and that's the point of origin of the move. You see it now pump higher, right? Come on, Harry. You know I got the premium features. You know I got the ultimate trading view package. All right. So it is 12:48. All right, gentlemen. Outside of that, I'm liking what I'm seeing. For everything in terms of positioning, what we're going to be buying, what we're accumulating, what the portfolio should look like, I'm going to message everybody inside the Discord and let you know what I'm doing for this week. Once we get out of this week and we start heading into May, that'll give me a lot more confidence in terms of how heavily we want to position to one side or the other and how we want to hedge. But I will be talking about that in the... Where's my fucking... Here it is. We're going to be talking about that in the Discord. Also, for those of you who are looking for an exchange to be able to trade perp futures on, copy trade people, buy spot, basically do everything you would possibly want to do on an exchange without KYC, without knowing your customer, without having to provide a driver's license and your social security number and do all this bullshit, just be able to sign up and instantly be able to trade without doing any KYC. Use Blowfin. Okay, I'm actually going to put the link in the description. Yeah, I'm going to have the link put in the description. I got to have Naeem do that, actually. Use Blowfin to be able to trade all those sorts of things without KYC. Okay, I had used them in the past already to trade my perps, and that's how I hedge and make money on downside. And then they reached out to me and actually said, hey, listen, we want to sponsor the Taylor's Code. We want to work with you people inside the Taylor's Code. And, of course, those of you that are not inside yet, you're still more than welcome to use it. There's a special sign-up offer they're doing. So, typically, if you were just sign up for the exchange, it would just be you sign up, you trade. If you do it through our link, through the Taylor's Code, you're going to have a special offer where when you join and deposit, they're going to match your deposit. They're going to give you money towards trading perps. If you don't know how to trade perps, if you don't know how to long, short, use leverage, position in the markets, etc., join the Taylor's Code so we can actually train you. We do live trainings in there now. I provide TA analysis. I show you what to do in positioning with your portfolio. Everything that you could possibly need in order to make money in these markets, that's inside the network, right? That's why you need to be a part of a team of people who are all trying to fucking win and understand what's happening so that you can win together, so that you can be a part of a winning culture, be a part of an environment where people are actually trying to win. Okay, you're not going to survive these markets by yourself. That's the reality. I couldn't, so you probably can't either, right? Yeah, Blowfin's fire. I fucking love Blowfin. It's the only reason I actually accepted the partnership. I've had multiple other people reach out plenty of times in the past year. Oh, we want to sponsor you. We want to pay you to do this. Da, 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 da. I said no to everybody because, one, I never used them. So how am I going to fucking support something I've never used before? And two, I'm not going to use my reputation and the relationships I have with everybody to show something that I don't believe in. This product, this partnership, yeah, I use them. Yeah, I believe in it. Yeah, okay, let's do it. Let's fucking make some money, right? So giving people opportunity that we're going to sign up anyways to actually get matched on their deposits and get some extra money to be able to play with and make money in the markets. So we'll get that link up. Let me think about how I should do that right now. I'm going to do that right now. Can I put it in the chat in Streamlabs? Let's see. Enter chat message. Oh, bomba cloud. Let's do that then. Ready? Let's do a little Mr. Producer. We got all them hoes. All right, community chat. Where's it at? Where's it at? Here. Blowfin partnership. Copy text. All right, let me know if you animals can see this shit. Boom! There it is. It did work. A bomba clot. And then let me show you this thing right here. Copy image. See if I can send an image in here. It does not let me send an image. But sign up with that. Oh, no, wait, hold on. I can do this. I'll show you guys this. Hold on. This is the sign up offer. Booming. Yeah, that should work. Let's do open in browser. Let's see. Banger. All right. Let me do a little Mr. Producer. Come on, Naeem. Bang. Come on. Who do you think you're dealing with? Fucking Joey Bananas. I'm tempted to try the copy trading. Yeah, for sure. Go for it. Whatever it is that you guys can do to make money, go for it. That's all I care about. Are we making money? Are we growing? Are we winning? We are. Fantastic. Whatever it takes to do that, that's what we're going to do. Outstanding stream today. Thank you, Naeem. All right, let's see. So Blowfin's Banquet. Deposit reward, deposit 100, you get 10, 500, you get 50, 1,000, get 100. Trade reward, you trade $10,000 worth on futures, $10 bonus, $20, $100 bonus. This 100,000 looks like a big number. It's not a big number. You'll do that easily by just consistently trading. So up to $200 extra to be able to trade with, give you an opportunity to learn how to actually make money on leverage, shorting, longing the market. Important for your portfolio to be able to hedge for times like this. You know, most people, they can only make money whenever price goes up. And that's not ideal, right? You need to be able to make money when there's volatility. Volatility means you can make money, not just price go up. People who understand how to make money know that volatility is profitable, right? Whether it's to the upside or the downside. It's just the change in price is what makes money, okay? So we'll talk about that inside the Discord. If you're not already inside the Discord or part of the network, link is in the description. taylorscode.com. Join as a gentleman, join as a professional, join as a hero. Look at whatever you're going to have access to in the Discord by doing that. And outside of that, we're done. All right, I'll talk to you guys inside the Discord. Appreciate you guys. Let me go back to live scene. Oh yeah, Ollie, you want a song? I'll give you a song. You want me to play? Ollie, last time you gave a suggestion, I remember it not being so good. Do I trust you again this time? For the song, can you play Elon Musk by DDG? Elon Musk is a good man, so we'll give it a shot. Pull up YouTube, and then I'll give this to you for the outro. Elon Musk by DDG. Featuring Ghana. Is that it, Ollie? 3 years ago. Oh, shit, he was early to the party. All right.
Straight to space like a Elon Musk.